Welcome back to Modern Homestead Alaska. If you're new around here, I am Jessica. We are a family. There's 5 of us here in South Central Alaska building a homestead. And if you can see by the coloring of the sky, winter is quickly upon us. Now I know we were all just talking about fall, and in the last 5 days, we lost all of the leaves. So fall is already over, and now it's going to be winter. Spring in Alaska is about a week, and fall in Alaska is about a week, and from then we move on. So it is my final push. I wanted to do this yesterday, and it rained and rained and rained all day yesterday. So here we are today. I have to get everything picked up before the snow comes. Otherwise, you won't see it again until summer of next year. So let's tackle whatever we can get done on this crazy homestead today, including I finally got my garlic. So I have the garlic. It has to go in previous to winter. The ground's still soft enough. This is top priority. Cleanup is second. Let's go. I began planting the garlic by moving all of this hay and whatnot and laying out the garlic. I have gotten garlic from 2 different locations this year, and the ground in which I am planting the garlic is extremely soft. It's very deep, and we are able to build up here quite simply. Okay, goodness, here we are. The first row I got from the Botanical Gardens here in Anchorage. This garlic was grown here in Alaska. It was way more expensive, and it was not. So when it said like for $6 you get like 6, I thought 6 heads, not 6 individual, like 1 head of garlic that may have 6 bulbs in it. So, okay, this first row we have Russian red, German white, Parisian star, Montana Zimu, purple glazer, Romanian red, chestnut red, and music. So not only is it raining on me, I am contending with 20-some chickens who have decided that not only would they join me, but they would help pull the garlic back out of the holes that I put it in there. And so just trying to compete, it is like what do they say, herding cats or herding chickens? I don't know what the saying is, but getting the chickens out of this was such a mess. Anywho, we move on. I ordered this garlic offline. All of the garlic varieties that we are planting this year are hardneck varieties. I have never actually managed to grow any garlic. We got it after the ground had frozen last year. Tried putting some of it in the woodshed and then planting it with the potatoes and all of that. None of it grew. None of that actually worked. And so I was very diligent in ordering the garlic ahead of time, and they just don't even start shipping it until early October. Okay, on this side, I guess I'm gonna have to reference this video, I promise you. We have chestnut red again. All of these are hardneck varieties. We have 50 something of those, and then the Parisian star, 70 something. Just for reference, this chunk is 20 foot long, and then there's 3 rows of garlic cloves in each. And then I just brought in compost, fresh compost, and leveled out the beds. And then I'll just put some nasty new hay on top. And then in the center here, next spring, we will plant something that needs to trellis. If it's tomatoes, so be it. Tomatoes and garlic are really good friends, But anything that needs to trellis will go right down the center of this here, because the goal, the hopes and dreams is to invest the money in a greenhouse so that I actually can grow lots and lots of tomatoes. But we will keep this trellis here. And then my stinking chickens, I took down all the garden fence, you can see that, and they came in, they wiped out all that was left, and then they want to dig right here. So I just need something to keep them out of it until the ground is frozen, which will happen very, very shortly here. So I'm just throwing some chicken wire around it. I might throw some boards at the bottom, but I just need to keep the chickens out long enough for the ground to freeze, and then they won't be able to steal my garlic cloves. Oh, so I have 4 more kinds of garlic that I burnt. Well, this is the cruddiest fence I've ever built. When Aaron gets home, I'll have him help me fix it. But I wanted to get a note of what I planted. So Parisian Star, purple glazer, and then on the opposite side we have Music, Montana, and I think that's purple glazer as well on that end. And then I went and got a nasty rotten hay bale. So I'm gonna pick up my little labels, and something bit me in the eye, like right here. And I'm going to throw some straw in here, and hopefully it will freeze before the chickens get to it. They are literally trying to dig up the garlic before I could even get it covered over. So very frustrating today, but we'll go ahead and finish here. Good morning, friends. It is day 2. And people are already outside dealing with wood and everything else. It is early and super duper foggy. If you notice today, my eye, let me just get you in. It's a little close, a little personal. I have to tell you the craziest story. So remember yesterday, I said something bit me in the eye. Well, something did. And last night I kept saying to Aaron, like, I think it's bruising. Something is wrong. Like, it super itched, and I know it doesn't look all that bad, or at least that's what Aaron is telling me. And I was like, oh my God, there's something wrong with my eye. So I went to bed like normal, went to sleep, woke up this morning, and I could see the swelling, and it was itching like you would not believe. So I roll out of bed, Aaron's in the shower. I get this idea that I am going to put some cortisone cream to stop the itch and maybe help a little bit with the swelling, because I could see it at the bottom. Let me just tell you, let me tell you what happened. I thought, bright idea, little cortisone cream, everything's fine, get rid of the itch, whatever. I get this on my face and I think to myself, well, that doesn't look normal. I don't know why it's clear. And it goes into my eye, and this gel-like substance. And I am like, okay, I'm fine. And I have my eye closed and I'm trying to read with the other eye what I put, because it does say cortisone on it. It is cooling gel. So I have now just managed to put some sort of menthol in to my eyeball, and I am wailing, and Aaron is trying to get out of the shower to help me, of which I'm laying on the bed screaming because I tried to rinse it out right there at the sink, and I can't open the eye because it is burning like you would not believe. I am trying to instruct Aaron where the eye wash is in the first aid kit. Oh my gosh. So yeah, so it's been a fun, exciting morning. My face is swollen, and now my whole eye is swollen because I rubbed some sort of menthol in it, to which the burning is now gone. The itching is still there. Like, I want to scratch it, but it's such a sensitive area that, like, okay, I know that I'm rambling about my eye this morning, but anyway, I am in the bathroom now with the proper cortisone because I needed to stop itching. And Aaron walks by and is like, is that really a good idea? You're gonna go for round 2. Have at it, girl. So, anywho, if you notice today, that is that bite. I don't even know what bit me. The only bugs I even saw out there yesterday were those stinking gnats. But something bit me on the hand and something bit me on the eye. And now it's early and there's already a cord of wood to deal with and all of the wood piles are getting dealt with. And I got so much done yesterday. So let's just see what we can finish. Again, are we ever going to be ready for winter? I'm so done with this cleanup. It's just time to have winter. Okay, so we have some dry wood. We don't have enough for winter. What's happening today is this massive pile here. There's 2 piles this size. There's a total of 3 piles, but there's 2 this giant size. They will not be dry enough for this winter, and we knew that the whole time going in. My chickens are very, very bad. They're all in the woodshed, pooping in the woodshed. Fortunately, they don't climb up the wood. So now I have to clean this up really quick so we can put the wood in here. And then, oh yeah. And then,
yep.
I need to put a gate on this. Chicken mom. We actually ordered this dry wood, and that has been such a huge struggle when moving to Alaska. Aaron has gone through so many different wood guys, and gone through meaning we can get a load from them and then we can't get a load and so on, and we just don't have enough wood on our property. I mean, we do because we cut down those trees that aren't ready, but we obviously aren't going to clear cut our property in order to have enough wood. So we order some wood, and thankfully we found someone. His name is Caleb. He is our #1 fan. Just ask him. And he does a fantastic job of bringing us really, really dry wood, and it is cut small enough that I can put it in my wood cook stove, because I actually need 2 different sizes of wood to burn in my house. And then Caleb stayed all afternoon while Aaron and I are working on a totally different project, and he hammered away on this massive set of logs. So thank you so much, Caleb, for your help. Day 3. Uh-oh, dropped my glove. All right. Day 3 of the final push to get everything ready for winter. I got some new straw here. I got all this cleaned up, and then I started drying buckets again, trying to get, let's see, I didn't record it, but I got all this cleaned up. All of these buckets that I use for the garden, I washed all of those out, got those stored in the basement, started finding some in the garage, literally emptied all except for 1, 2, the 3, 4 buckets that we made that hold the water hoses on them, because there's concrete in those buckets. So I've just sort of decided, I think I'm gonna leave them outside over winter. They're going to be fine. The crazy part is I have so many refills or new pots like this that even if there was an issue with the pot, we could lift the concrete out of it and set it into a new pot. But I will rotate it here because this is the snow drive lane that Aaron takes. So this will rotate here. I got a ton taken out of here, starting to put new straw around the chicken coop. And then I have all the hoses over here. This is something crazy. You can't leave these outside during winter here. You can if you properly drain them every single time. That's how a hose works. Here, however, we just take all of it inside for the winter time. We have not had a need for an actual hose outside in the last 2 winters. Therefore, all of these will get put inside so that they are not cracking and freezing. I just am kind of talking to you a little bit that maybe some expectations or things you might not always think has to be done. And we didn't have to do these things in Colorado, and we got an equivalent, say, feet of snow oftentimes, but when it snows there, it kind of melts, and then it snows and it melts, it snows and it melts, and so on. Winter in Alaska is so stinking different than anything we expected it to be. So learning as we have, all the fencing comes down, all of these different things, and then anything, once it snows, if it is laying out here, it is gone. It is gone until spring, because it will snow on that. If it melts a little bit, it just becomes ice and then freezes again. It's stuck there, and then it snows on it again, and you don't find it until spring. And the first 2 winters, so this will be our 3rd winter here, we lost things. Tires, axes, shovels, you name it. It would be like, okay, we're working on this, and then all of a sudden it would snow on it. We're like, it'll melt, we'll go out and get it. Nope. We found things in layers, in layers in the spring. So we are trying our very, very best to be super, super diligent and not do that this year. So anyway, let me get the tractor started. We have work to finish this video. First things first, I need to swap out the forks for the bucket on the tractor. One of the main things that I have found is that tractors are not just for the boys. This thing has truly helped me with the cleanup and the different things that I have been doing, and the more and more I use it, the more comfortable I am using it, and it has been such a godsend to getting the things done around here, because all of the buckets and the different things that I'm moving around, the weight of them is just simply too much for me to carry, and having to lift it, say, like into the bed of a pickup, or, you know, as all of that goes. This has just been so fantastic for me to use for the cleanup. Pulling down all of the planters, I have got to get literally everything that the snow could interrupt, and not only that, anything that is up and around the house, the porch, the wood sheds, the chicken coop, all of the different buildings, we have to be able to move snow. So anything that would be touching the house or pressed up against the house, like these plants or the stands that they're in, all of that would get in the way of snow removal, and we just literally cannot have that happen. The other thing is the freeze thaw. These are plastic pots, a lot of them, and I don't want to be leaving the water in there and having it expand as it freezes, and then I just feel like dumping all of them, I am able to reuse these pots a lot longer than I would if I didn't do this extra work. I did fill these pots with compost, and so I decided to do a topping on the strawberry bed. That is our main strawberry area right around our wellhead here. It has turned into quite a cute little area, being able to, you know, have the strawberries, because we're trying to protect the well. We put these giant boulders around it, and then that way in the winter time, as all of this gets covered over in snow, no one is running into our wellhead with a tractor or a mover or anything of that sort. This was one of our main things that we were super worried about after the very first winter here. We had to have someone come and clear snow, and I literally had to stand out there on our wellhead so that he did not run into it because it was buried underneath the snow. So first we had to find it and then make it to where I just stood on it for an hour and a half, whatever the case was, and protected it. And immediately the next summer, Aaron filled in around it with these big boulders, and we do know where they are. We clean up to and around them in the winter time, and then that way we are truly protecting our water. I had some pretty major weed issues in this strawberry bed this year. So throwing the compost on there and then hoping in the spring I can get out there and put possibly some, either paper or something in and around the strawberries to try and have a weed barrier. So wish me luck on that. One of our main projects moving into this winter doing inside is having a mud room area inside of the garage. Our front porch is literally the catch-all. We have all of the muddy boots from the weekend. I had literally cleaned the front porch on Friday and turn around on Monday, and it is so covered in mud and muck and dirt from the dogs, the chickens, and the people that live here. So this area really needs some good hard work. I restarted the compost area, so I have some hay, and now I have the green from the garden, and I separate out of the pots. I pull the plants and throw them in this compost area. But like I had said earlier, I filled all of these pots with really good compost, and I want to be able to use that compost in the garden. And so I just dump it in the walkways and the beds and all of the different areas. Keeping in mind, I'm putting it pretty heavy on this one end. You'll see by the end of today. I did a heavy amount on this one end, and my reason for it being heavy on this one end is because the potatoes are actually going to go on this end of the garden next year. So we're just flopping them the opposite end because they're such a heavy feeder. I want to put a good topping of compost this fall in order to prepare that ground for the spring. And then I do wash all of the buckets for two reasons. I did not have anything growing that we don't really want, but I just don't want a ton of dirt in my basement. And the other thing is being able to wash them now. They're ready for us to fill and possibly use when spring rolls around. I'm not doing double work then. Whew. Someone had asked me why I'm out of breath in these videos. Those are like 80 pounds a piece lifting the hay bales. I have 2 layers of clothes cinched around my body. I have lifted these massive pots full of soil, or I'm shoveling them, and I'm older. I'm not old, but I'm an older lady who is not a gym rat. I don't hang out in the gym and exercise all that. This is my exercise. And so, yeah, it is very, very hard work, and it takes a ton, and I don't do anything small. So instead of it being like, oh, I move 1 or 2 little pots, no, I'm going to move 10 giant pots of soil and compost around and roll tires and throw hay bales and all of that. And it's the life that we have chosen, and it keeps me healthy, and it is my exercise. So I do encourage, if you can even have a little garden on a deck or porch or something like that, it is exercise. The up and the down and the squatting and the bending and the lifting and all that goes into this is unbelievable how much work physically it actually is. So I am now at the woodshed. I have 4 more buckets of compost to dump on the garden. I have 2 more hanging baskets here on the woodshed. I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing with those because they have roses in them, And I may actually just leave them hanging because those roses are supposed to come back. Hang on a second. Come. Berto, come here. That little stinker keeps taking off to one of the neighbors' houses, and she walks with her dogs, and all of a sudden I saw him sneak off, and I could kind of see something through the trees, and I guarantee you, Berto, come all the way back. Not just to the end of the driveway. Come all the way here. Come say hi. And do you see what I see? I don't know if the camera's even, hang on. Is the camera picking it up? It's snowing on me. Hi, Bert. Did you come all the way back? He did, guys. He's a good boy. Are you a good boy? Did you come all the way back to say hi? Where were you going? You know you're a problem, right? You know you're a problem. You cannot take off. You gotta stay home. Okay. Let's finish strong, friends. Because now it's... I did dump all 4 of those huge things of compost in this one area, the new potato area. We are increasing the size of the potato area just to get an even larger harvest than what we did this year, because those are such a staple, incredibly easy to grow, and I want to have a good foundation for the potatoes moving in. And then look at the tractor, how deep it is digging ruts. I do get this straightened out a little bit, but let's finish. Oh my gosh, so I just did the hardest job. This boat was down in the marshy area and it had filled with water. And I am soaked. My legs, look at me. Ah. Okay, and then I had to tip it over and drag it all the way up here. Wash that off. Okay, I got all these buckets rinsed. They're gonna go in the basement for the winter. I have 2 buckets by the front door that I cannot lift by myself because I don't want to damage them. They're the blueberries and the strawberries. I'm being told they can't really handle the weight of the snow the first year, so you have to protect them somehow. So I planted them in pots. I'll probably put them in the woodshed. I'll have Aaron help me do that. And then that way they get the full winter temperatures of freezing, but not the weight of the snow on them. And then next year we'll actually plant them out. They'll become part of the landscape. So that is done. Guys, we're almost... I feel like, being honest with you, at the end of this video, I felt really confident at the beginning that I would get all of it done, and then not so confident in the middle that any of this was even going to get done, and that it was going to be like all the years past where we just weren't ready and winter hits and it's just... You think spring and summer is a lot of work around here. Winter is a horrific amount of work with the snow and all of that, and the wood and heating the house and so on. So anyway, I am starting to feel confident that we are going to be winter ready, more so than we have ever been before. And that goal has just been weighing on me. And I know it feels like I'm rambling, but I always try to look for something to share on my channel of things sometimes feel so heavy, like we're not going to get there, it's never going to happen, all of that thoughts and feelings, and then all of a sudden you just keep pressing through and pressing through and pressing through. And to be honest, this yard has felt like eating an elephant. And how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? So just one day at a time, pushing myself, getting done what I can get done to the best of my abilities, giving myself grace, and then coming back the next day or 2 days later, whatever the case is, and doing it the very best that I can again and again and again until we get here. So I put the straw in the shed for the chickens. You already knew that. Okay, let me finish cleaning some stuff. We can sweep the porch, and then I had Wyatt open the garage here so I could put this wire in there and just a couple more things to tidy this area here, obviously next to the woodshed. What's happening is all that wood that you saw earlier in the video gets cut and it'll just get piled here. We have all of this space all the way to where the forks to the tractor are to just pile wood, and it'll dry. We're gonna tarp that and then it'll get moved into the woodshed. Someone asked how many cords our woodshed holds. I have no idea, but you saw us put 2 cords in there and it only took up 2 rows, and so we have enough wood. Technically we will have enough wood for winter in the woodshed, and then this will dry. It'll get moved to the woodshed, and then next year this is what we'll burn a year from now. So that's a crazy big job that has to still get done. Wyatt is going to hammer away on that this weekend, and we're going to finish a huge surprise project that I've been trying to not accidentally get footage of in this video. So we have something huge, which is interrupted filming a little bit because I've been filming that, but not being able to talk about it or show. Anyway, you get the whole point. So we're almost done. Let's finish this video strong so we can say we accomplished something and be done for today. Well, I actually did it, friends. I am so proud of me. I'm looking around here and there is some weird trash stuff that was left here from the people we bought the house from. We never figured out what to do with it. That needs to go to the dump. It's like a weird chunk of like a culvert and just some other piping that we don't really have a purpose for. This metal bench you see, I cannot lift that by myself. Even with the tractor, I don't want to damage it, but it's just way too heavy. So I can't get it to the basement by myself. I'll have to wait till one of the kids or Aaron is home to help me with that. But I literally, look, all the pots are done. We're leaving the rose bushes. I may end up sticking those in the woodshed as well once we get all the wood and everything situated. And then these 2 pots are going to go in the woodshed this weekend. And then the pots that I left out, again, are the concrete ones. So I know I'm repeating myself, but it's weird. It's super weird because it's like we moved out, but we didn't. Just having it all gone is just strange to see. And it's snowing. Can you see it just dropping the snow on me as we try to close this out? So thank you, those of you that have stuck around all the way to the end. You are greatly appreciated. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell to get notification. Thumbs up and comments all help our channel to grow. With that, I'm gonna get a bucket of wood and go in by the wood cook stove, which is running, and I'm gonna have myself some hot tea and relax before all of my family gets home with all of their chaos. Talk to you soon.